Hello everybody and welcome back to another video. Now today I'm doing a bit of a different video. It's not really a Q&A but more of something. This is something really important that I feel I didn't want to do but I feel like I sort of need to do at this point. And it's sort of an explainer for some things about the Ducks that they've either not really had enough attention paid to them or they've not been understood by viewers. And this stuff is a lot of things that some of these things in this list are really important things that people just don't really talk about enough or don't pay enough attention to. And some of these things are just minor details that people didn't really notice, but they didn't need to notice as such. So yes, let's get straight into it. So as we can see on the screen right now, the brand new orange duck that appeared last episode, which is called Obby, is not actually brand new. He was actually first seen around the time, he was first seen in episode 3, and he's the guy that detained Phil, and he's also been seen throughout episodes like episode 9, and I'm pretty sure he's in episode 4 as well, and he's mostly just been in the background, but I'm not surprised, but nobody really seemed to notice in episode 45 that he was the same guy, and mostly because at the time when he first appeared, back in episode 3, people weren't really realising that this series would become so big and that they weren't trying to take it all in, since they didn't really realise things in those episodes could be really important for later on in the series. So that's perfectly understandable why he didn't get recognised. But later in the video, we're going to talk about some much more important things. And also, another quick detail, the commander we see in this episode with the red cap, he is the same guy that we saw at the end of episode 39, commanding another squad. And yes, this fool is still alive, by the way. He will be returning soon. So yes. Well, anyway, now we're going to start getting into some bigger details that people really should have been paying more attention to. So, here we are. So we're in the episode 20 to 30, and I nicknamed the 20s as the time of giants in the Ducks because, for example, we see so many giant ducks in these times. We see the giant, I don't really know what to call him, but we see the giant human body duck, we see the giant penguin, we see whatever this thing is, we see so many giants in this time of the Ducks. And basically what I'm saying is during these times, especially these times, people paid a lot of attention to these giant characters. For a great example is Chunky Boy's mech, which is also based off Molecrafts, which is one of my fellow YouTubers, and a lot of people love this duck. It's a very, very popular duck, and I'm fine with that because Chunky Boy is quite important. He was one of the first ducks, but something people didn't really pay enough attention to is probably some of the smaller ducks in these times, and Grey Duck especially is one of those ducks that nobody has really ever paid attention to. And as much as I've tried to make him really important, people they know he exists, but they don't seem to talk about him, or they're just more interested in sort of other things than Grey Duck. And especially now with Grey Duck being a betrayed duck, he sort of is very important. And something I find a bit funny is people call the Benish ducks traitor ducks, which I find a bit funny since they're not actually traitors. They're the ones who've been betrayed by their army for just not being that good at fighting. For example, Grey Duck made a huge mistake. He literally lost all his upgrades in a few seconds, and he couldn't defeat Drill Duck, and Drill Duck had no upgrades. He was so damaged, and so I see why they got rid of Grey Duck, but still, he's not really a traitor when he kind of got betrayed. But yes, anyway. So yeah, Grey Duck, I think, all I need to really say is I think Grey Duck needs a bit more attention, especially in these next few episodes. Grey Duck's going to need a lot of attention. Anyway, let's move on to the next thing. Okay, and the last and probably most important thing I want to talk to you today about is Flamethrower Duck. Yes, Flamethrower Duck is pretty much one of the most important ducks. And, we saw him all the time in the old episodes, but ever since he lost his upgrades in episode 14, he sort of just hasn't been seen much, and we last saw him in episode 36 without new upgrades. But even before he lost his upgrades, people just weren't really talking about him. But yes, Flamethrower Duck is returning soon, and he will have upgrades this time. So yes, hopefully you're hyped for that. Well, anyway, guys, hopefully you enjoyed today's video, and I'll see you next time. And yes, don't get infected by the ducks.